Rolls-Royce Wraith 1938-39. The Rolls-Royce Wraith, not to be confused with the earlier small horsepower Goshawk-powered car, the 2530th Sour.P, was built by Rolls-Royce at their Derby factory from 1938 to 1939 and supplied to independent coach builders as a running chassis. Wraith is also the name of a new coupe announced by Rolls-Royce in 2013. Wraith is an old Scottish word meaning ghost or spirit, continuing the Rolls-Royce's, at the time, new nomenclature that they had adopted, using words relating to silent, gracious, elegant, rarely seen and highly sought after for these reasons. In fact, the Wraith name originated from a 40/50th Sour.P, silver ghost, that was named the Wraith by its original owner. The inline 6-cylinder, overhead valve, 4,257cc engine was based on that of the 2530 but featured a cross-flow cylinder head. The 4-speed gearbox had synchro mesh on second, third and fourth speeds and retained the traditional right-hand change. The later engines were used as the basis for the Bentley MKV and the Cornish. The Wraith featured an independent coil-sprung front suspension based on a Packard 120 retaining semi-elliptical leaf springs on the rear axle. The hydraulic dampers at the front had their damping rate controlled by governor and so varied with the speed of the car, making it superior to its predecessor, the 2530 HP and on par with the Phantom 3. The car was still built on a separate chassis but this was now of welded rather than the traditional riveted construction. The drum brakes were assisted by a mechanical servo driven by the engine patented by Hispano-Suiza and built by Rolls-Royce under license. Wire wheels of 17-inch diameter were fitted, with the spokes usually covered by removable discs. A built-in hydraulic jacking system was fitted operated by a lever under the passenger seat. Cars based on the Wraith chassis could reach 85 miles per hour, 137 kilometers per hour. This was very dependent on the weight and style of body fitted. In one test by the Motor magazine in October 1938, a 0 to 50 miles per hour time of 16.4 seconds was recorded. In 1938, a typical touring car cost $1,700, which included the chassis cost of $1,100. 492 chassis were made. Although chassis were only produced in 1939, cars bearing 1940 or later delivery and registration dates are not uncommon. Some cars were finished off during early 1940. Others were held in storage and sold and first registered during the war years. A few were actually bodied during wartime. In addition, 16 pre-war chassis were bodied in early 1946 and duly delivered to the government. The final Wraith was delivered in 1947.